I'm 97 years old and I am still living in my own home. Not because I was lucky, not because my body was stronger than other women's bodies, because at 65, I stopped doing one thing that almost every woman my age has been doing her entire life. And if you are honest with yourself, you are probably doing it right now. You apologize for things that are not your fault. You say yes to invitations you do not want. You stay in rooms where you are uncomfortable. You take care of everyone in your family before you take care of yourself. That is the one thing I stopped 32 years ago. And I am the only woman from my graduating class of 1949 who still lives in her own house. The class of 1949 had 84 girls. I have been to 41 funerals from that class. Of the 43 women still alive, 38 of them are in assisted living or nursing homes. 3 of us are still at home. I want to tell you about those 3 women because we have one thing in common that the other 38 do not. The one thing I stopped doing at 65 was apologizing for taking up space. I do not mean physical space, I mean emotional space, decision space, the space a woman occupies when she says, "This is what I want. This is what I will not do. This is what I need from you." I had spent 65 years apologizing for that space. I had apologized for being tired. I had apologized for not liking the casserole. I had apologized for needing to leave the party early. I had apologized for my own preferences, my own opinions, my own body, my own time for 65 years. The morning of my 65th birthday, I sat at this kitchen table and I made myself a list of 3 rules. I have followed them every day for 32 years. I am going to tell you all 3. The first rule, I do not apologize for what I do not want. When my daughter calls and asks if I want to babysit my great-grandchildren on a Saturday afternoon, I say yes or I say no. I do not apologize for the no. I do not explain. I do not invent a doctor's appointment. I say, "Not this Saturday, sweetheart," and I leave it there. You think this is small? It is not. The woman who apologizes for every no is the woman who eventually stops saying no. She builds a life where her no's feel illegal. And the day she cannot lift a grocery bag or cook her own dinner or remember her own appointments, she has no practice saying no to her own children when they suggest she should not live alone anymore. My friend Rosalind apologized for her no's for 68 years. Her daughter began to suggest, around the time Rosalind turned 76, that maybe a smaller place would be easier. Rosalind apologized for not wanting to move. She apologized for liking her stairs. She apologized for needing her garden. She apologized her way out of her own house in less than 2 years. I have said no without apology for 32 years. That is why my daughter has stopped suggesting smaller places. The second rule, I do not apologize for occupying my own time. When my son calls at 7 in the evening and I am in the middle of my reading hour. I do not. Answer: I call him back at 9. I do not begin the return call with, "I am so sorry I didn't pick up." I begin with, "Hello, dear. What did you need?" Apologizing for your own time teaches the world that your time is interruptible. Once your time is interruptible, your life is interruptible. And once your life is interruptible, you are no longer the author of your day. Your day belongs to whoever calls first. I have a reading hour from 7 to 8 every evening. I have had it for 32 years. My children know about it. They have stopped calling at 7. They learned because I never apologized for not picking up. The third rule: I do not apologize for what my body needs. This is the one most women lose first. You stop asking for the chair to be moved out of the sun. You stop sending back the coffee that is too cold. You stop telling the doctor that the new medication makes you dizzy. You stop telling your son-in-law that his car ride hurts your back. You stop telling anyone ever that you need something different, because you have been raised to believe that needing something different is rude. The polite woman who never asks for what her body needs is the polite woman who by 80 has a body that nobody knows how to care for, including herself. I have asked for 32 years for exactly what I need. I have moved chairs in other people's houses. I have sent back food. I have told doctors when their prescriptions felt wrong. I have asked my son-in-law to drive slower. I have done all of this without an apology in front of it, because the apology I learned at 65 was the thing that was killing me. A woman who apologizes for her needs is a woman whose needs eventually stop being met. The needs are still there. They just have no voice anymore. 3 rules. 1 change. 32 years. The 2 other women from my class of 1949 who still live in their own homes, I asked them separately what they thought had kept them home. They both said almost the same thing. One said, "I stopped apologizing for myself in my 60s. The other said, "I started saying no without explanation around 67. 3 of us out of 84. 3 women who at some point in our 60s stopped apologizing for taking up space. You are doing it right now. You are apologizing for things that need no apology. You are saying, sorry for needing rest, for wanting silence, for not finishing a meal, for canceling a plan, for being old. You will not notice the moment you cross the line from polite to invisible. There is no line. There is only one apology at a time for 30 years until you are a woman whose preferences nobody knows because she stopped having them out loud. Stop. Today, right now. The next time someone asks you something and the answer is no, say no. Do not explain. Do not apologize. Do not soften. A nursing home does not begin with a fall. It begins with the first apology you owed yourself and gave to someone else instead. I'll see you in the next one.